afternoon and welcome to News Review. I am Sergio Brito. Coming up this afternoon, vendors at the Farafenni market challenge government over a price hike. Our special guest on News Review today, he just walked in through the door, is a former Secretary General and author Momodu Sabali. But first, we'll take a look at the newspapers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that a soldier has been arrested for threatening to shoot a football fan in SLNBR. 67 foreigners to be deported for entering in the Gambia without a permit. According to immigration officials, driver accuses police of unlawful detention and maltreatment. And of course, the lead story on the Standard newspaper, Musa Suso rebuilds the leader of the United Democratic Party, Usainu Dabo. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. The Deputy Governor of West Coast Region, Musa Suso, has denied claims by United Democratic Party leader Usainu Dabo that he, Suso, visited the police station where a man driving a UDP vehicle was allegedly arrested with cannabis was being detained with the car. On Monday, the UDP leader addressed a press conference to declare that the reported arrest of a UDP vehicle carrying cannabis could have been motivated politically and the purported drugs might have been planted, claiming he had information that such scheme was being cooked, targeting him and other UDP officials. Dabo further alleged that each time UDP people have issues with the police, National People's Party officials will visit the police station. He was quoted as saying, "We have seen that whenever UDP executive have issues at the police, top NPP officials will go to the police. Musa Suso, the Deputy Governor of West Coast Region, my own friend, went to the police station on the matter." The Gambia Armed Forces has arrested a state guards soldier who threatened to open fire at a football fan in SL. The Gambia Armed Forces spokesperson Lieutenant Lamin Sanyang confirmed the arrest of Aliou Ba, an intelligence officer stationed at Mankamankunda. "I can confirm to you that Aliou Ba has been arrested and detained at the Fajara military barracks where he is helping the military in their investigation. The military, as usual, will not tolerate any indiscipline," Piaro Sanyang said. Senior Magistrate Seni Diouf of the Brikama Court has ordered that 67 foreign nationals be deported to their countries of origin after they were found guilty of entering the Gambia without a permit. They included 62 Guineans, 4 Ivorians and a Malian. They were found guilty on a single count of entering the Gambia without pass or permit, contrary to Section 2, subsection contrary to Section 6, or rather, Subsection 2 of the Immigration Act. Police Prosecuting Officer Sergeant O'Toure told the court that the incident happened on March 15, 2021 at Tanje in West Coast Region. Yankuba Toure, former member of the AFPRC military junta charged with the murder of his colleague Usman Koro Sise in June 1995, yesterday closed his defense before President Judge Ibrahim Abba Jaite at the High Court in Banjul. During yesterday's sitting, Toure's legal counsel Abdoulaye Sissoko informed the court that the defense has not been able to secure the attendance of their last witness who lives abroad, and as a result, they have decided to close the defense case. Accordingly, the judge ordered the defense to file its written address within 21 days, also advised the prosecution to do the same after they have received of the defense's address. Government ought to solve Makumbaya Babylon land dispute. A group of elders from Makumbaya yesterday walked into the offices of the Standard newspaper to state their dissatisfaction over the slow response of government in handling a land dispute that has been raging for the past 14 years. According to the elders, the protracted dispute is between the village and one Lamin Jaju, and the issue had led to court cases and even imprisonment of many people from Makumbaya. The elders warned that their patience is running out, urging the government of the Gambia to solve the dispute before the end of Ramadan. Meanwhile, driver accuses police of unlawful detention and maltreatment. Commercial van driver told the Standard newspaper how the police pepper sprayed him during a prolonged detention that lasted for 6 days. Mr. Amadou Ba, 38, claimed he was also insulted and called names at the Kanifing police station while in detention for a minor traffic violation when he drove a car with a broken rear mirror. But the underlying native said he was being targeted by police since 2019 when he first encountered them and was dragged to court and fined. Following his arrest on April 14 for driving with a broken rear mirror, he said his vehicle was confiscated at the mobile traffic, who then ordered for his detention at the Kanifing police station, where he allegedly was tortured. Experts warn corruption, naivety towards security a serious threat to the stability of the country. A respected security expert with over 33 years of experience in private security and intelligence has warned that corruption and government's naive perception of peace is a serious threat to Gambia's peace and stability. He was quoted as saying, "I would accept that when you come to the Gambia compared to other countries, it is the most welcoming country. But there is a strong notion, particularly pushed by ministers and people in position, that Gambia is a peaceful society, which it is true to a significant degree, but I also believe that they are being naive." Dr. Perry Stanislas, an assistant professor of policing and security at Rabdan Academy, London School of Economics and Political Science, told the Standard newspaper. That's it for the Standard. Let's take a look at the Point newspaper. Attorney General and Minister of Justice explains $200,000 honorarium payment. Let's take a look at that story before we go with the rest of our other stories. The Justice Minister and Attorney General of the Gambia, Dauda Jallow, says honorarium are legitimate payments in the Gambia, while reiterating that the $200,000 was a bulk payment of 18 months arrears OIC owed to the Gambian team working on the Myanmar case. The AG told West Coast Radio on Tuesday that there is a misconception on the whole saga. He was quoted as saying, "Honorariums are legitimate payments in the Gambia, even in government. Up to today, as we speak, people are being paid honorariums. People go to workshops and seminars and they receive honorariums. They don't return them." That's it for the papers. We'll go for a break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And now vendors at the Farafenni market have called on the government of President Adama Barrow to take urgent action over the fast tracking in the price of goods in the country, which is making the business environment very tough. Usman Jata tells us more.
Farafenni market in NBR, a region well known for its business activities. Let's get inside to have a survey of business at the market amid a spike in the prices of commodities coupled with the holy month of Ramadan.
Musol mbokolya benkanne de kolya ba abenkanne katuko dimba be bulbe dimba dagina ibesiri marse ko ne wandi fonta adaba jawari ta sotla je amari afo enjo kolya batal de president Barrow yam musol makoy mbe jambe sama karte on yaja ba musol ba fola Barrow kolya botan kanne de in kolya benkam nte nyode manola afafa ne ndema
business o marso ta ba kolya baba kele parce que business o marso to me anan ka ba kolya nyanta men sanna dala skema fulale ya ke ko keme lulti ni to sandir lalbe kumbol doron birin somanda sandir lalbe kumbol doron president anyanta mol ma ko lele ay diamu woto marsandiso ada tala men ka do fen ila do fen fana ya tala yaran ko mu banku dingol e kana fellaje men so banku dingol tor mbodi la banko mole nyanta business o ya datala.
As prices of commodities continue to rise, the government appears to be doing little in reversing the trend. The situation is getting ever worse as businesses and business people continue to increase the prices of their goods, which many say is to make more profit.
Business o ana kole ya doron akole ya tabaga fengo dabe be serle e fe o fensan ni awa fi le ko do fam pour ka soto ka ce do ko walate ka kumba folo ka san ki boto ngasan keme worola ba sai to kuno ngasan wili kilin keme kilin ya keme woro be la fakam ko sa musul mol be sola la nyami nyam me nyo dande musul mo be do ko la damin to ila do ko fe on ya sama na marché ko no ñanta fentala la jele min ba wa fi ka fu no do mon din soto jani min bitala
business léegi dafa seer léegi bagage dafa seer léegi moo tax fu ne dañuy jaay waaye dara duñ ko tuddee am léegi yëpp lañ yokk fu mu nekk nii moom koy fu ne dëkk bi moom neexul de war nañ ñoo jàppale ñoom ci loolu wax dëgg yàlla.
The Ministry of Trade on Monday held a press conference to clear the air on the spike of prices of commodities across the length and breadth of the country.
The price of a commodity is determined by a number of variables. Among them is duties. Among them is exchange rates. So freight cost. You have local factors like demurrages and others. So it is very difficult because duties have been taken away and it is assumed that the implicit cost of that is not being enjoyed by the consumer because we are looking, you see, one very important thing I must emphasize. There is a difference between nominal prices and real prices. You see, this decision was made a couple of years ago. And inflation is an inherent part of any economy. The price of any item yesterday will not be the same as 1 year down the line because of inflation. And because exchange rates also move. So it does not mean that the consumers have not benefited simply because the price of a bag of rice have not gone down. Maybe we are all looking at a certain numerical number, let's say 1,000, and we expected it to be below 1,000. No, but in the due process, at that time, the dollar C was not even 50. It was in the 40s. So, and these items are purchased using foreign currency. So the business of business is to make sure you pass through your cost. So if we as a government felt that because we believe price of rice have not come down significantly, as such we should put this duty back because we are losing the revenue, the only way the businessman will do is to pass the cost to the consumer. So currently the price will be higher.
Reporting for the Fatu Network News Review, Osman Jata.
Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Free. Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service.
Welcome back. And now the Fatu Network went back to Kiang this week to see how they are faring with their electrification project after its inauguration late last year by President Adama Barrow. Fatu Kamara has more.
Up until last year, Kiang remained the country's last region to have gone without electricity. The unfortunate reality held Kiang back in terms of development, but things appear to have taken a new dimension when President Adama Barrow late last year traveled to Kiang Queenara with his ministers to officially inaugurate the electricity expansion project under the theme Operation Lampol Mala. The Fatu Network this week was in Kiang to know how life is faring with these people.
Barbirina wete nyin lo jang ya ke jiyo mbika samu mo ko take ji sanna buka na jang ka fa ko na ta jiwa fol andu suto til kuran buka manke jang nengo men nga firjo soto aba tamanne kan nyama ni ya ye ma tamande no woto to fangole man ko do soto ye kas pawa sa wala firjo man kada barinde mammo ye jamen sa fa ko birim kurango nata janga yim formule mo la di ma mo ye jang ma mo en tulola ma mo mo la ko amanna fa to jang fa la na fa dem be wala kono ando na fa me duwala wala fa te yirwa
koren birina ta janka e mol mambata ku so to jang koren alata bukame maybe montro 30 minutes asina bo fong mansia andung niñ ka fo ñamen frijo be mo bulu ni aje la frijo mon tamo to fon la frijo la mankati bar koren wo be fon son kan na ñama correctly mo lafta men na fana ko so to korento ntolo kambe duala dron fala si de maro kenye nawet e be men kam fo banko karo be sa soto pari banko karo be mon koren soto bar ni banko karo be koren soto be si da ñimo ala tentolta alama compagnie ñen alama le barka ke je kila hormoto
Nyanga Dabo said there are other parts of Kiang yet to have electricity. He called on President Adama Barrow and his government to continue on all parts of Kiang as promised.
Nsimen fona wolo mnyente ko Kiang Central musate muane sabalet. So nina te kobe kurang dula Kiang Central la. Adun sate muane sabalem. Nina ta jibe wasate muane sabo kono. Sate Wurokang, Quinala, Tenda ba sate sabale asoto. Sate muane dodo man kurang soto. Adun janni na yake bine ko Kiang Central wala be kurang soto la kata Kiang West. Barsa en Kiang Central sate muane saba. Sate sabale asoto ni tata sate wala karola. Banina ta jibe tata sate wala karola bita sate nan. Tenda ba Sansankono, Nyakunda, Wurokang. Bani ina ta sate wala karola ni ko Quinala. Wombu sate kilinet. Wala mu Quinala Tenda ba Wurokang. Sate saba. Bari jawartale. Sansankono Nyakunda so aketa sate nan. Sa nina ta jibe nyin 23 village o. Sate muane saba. Sate saba le asoto sate nane asoto. Ntebe men fondana mansa kunda wala mu nyinti ko ye la faroke. Wala fana kurang soto. Parce que be dame la sulol mu kurangot. Sate muane saba. Ndolla ka carte o fay dibite we nka carte o fay president we. So nin karado e nyin soto karado ma nyin soto be manela bawo janna kana afotela ko kuran kana be commencer la Kiang Central le kata Kiang West.
Speaking to the Fatu Network, Ablai Suso said electricity in Kiang feels like heaven on earth to the community.
Ma sembo soto ya dundila bungono. Bal momo ya dundila bungono ibe kairole kono. Arjana yang si bir arjana. Wow. Kuwa filunga hamuta man hamuloko. Yang kirsi side. So lolo amun njering. Because yo yang judo yang am 60 years ngane. Danga am yo sa at 60 years. Yang si rew mi fi, yang si deka bi fi. Ite man kairo menje ina ta bulaw kono bi ni ka o mol kirsi side. Jamano membe kere mo be bulaw no man bading. Kuta kere waye. Kelet fitinata nyum banko kan. Kelete jang. Sonkati jang Cairo ole be nyum banko ka andum be la firon ole continue o e fene light bota nang fo mundo kalaji anata fo kuina la janga stop ta awanke kensenti badi ngamira do go kenyale modi andu alala de maroto ni sima be keri very soon ngaje a stop ta dame a start je ko ta ta nyato go ngole dua every day adanta dame fase futa no jara nga choki nga ke kilinde fonde olem kairoti no kuramo de wala nanyin sate okono alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
The lack of electricity had slowed down the growth and development of the village. Apparently, the existence of electricity did serve a great deal to the lives of these people. However, they are calling on President Adama Barrow and his government to consider the other parts of Kiang. Fatu Kamara reporting for the Fatu Network News Review.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11, any of the iPhone X series, a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology? Then walk into any Africell customer care center and activate your eSIM today. With your virtual Africell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by Africell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where Africell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and now I am joined by our special guest on News Review today, former SG and author and UDP, Mr. UDP. Welcome to the Fatu Network, SAPS, once again.
Thank you. Thanks
You've
for
just seen the
having me.
report. Kiankol ko saito fana kurango soto ko nyadira.
I said dua ya jame ya tentu ya jai because kurango membe kiang ya jame la project calling wo mukulete me yalanka senate amanke politique kumati ya jame la project calling ya bede dale a bandula baro ma beta wole fe bari ma ye kiankol pisalta hani sain e ko sate wol men man kurango soto wolle dan nasiyata katambi sate wol timene kurango soto kiang hani sain aldua usen dabo e man say Allah bata seba
ñun ka fat camara to ñewa
ndema fat camara to fo de ni la fani fat camara to fay la ñoka biti sake ka ngal fat camara be da ju sobe suni ya suti har ni kiam ko sunta Wala kam fa ka sone hale. But anyway, medwala for sumo se sone ya.
Yeah, but thank you for coming to the Fata Network once again, Sabs. Let's just get into it. First, we begin with the $200,000 honorarium.
Yes.
That was paid to the Gambia, I guess, on the Myanmar versus Gambia, Rohingya genocide case. A debate has ensued about this money, and some people are already making allegations of corruption. You've worked in the public service before. What do you make of this? Why? I know you are not into all of this sharing and whatnot. Why?
I think it's daylight robbery and theft. If the Gambia government can apprehend armed robbers and take them to Mile 2, the people involved in this are more culpable than anybody doing armed robbery. Because the Rohingya case is being pursued by the Gambia, the liability is on the Gambia. Fine, the Gambia requested help through the OIC. Monies are coming in, we still don't have enough money to pay the international firm pursuing this case on our behalf, but the local staff, a few of them, let us be clear so we don't stain the entire Ministry of Justice, a few of them, current minister, former minister Batambedu, and their clique want to share $200,000 as a first installment, and I want this to be clear, because Barrow's town crier, Ibrahima Sankare, is trying to downplay this. The fact is the amount of money they want to share among themselves is $500,000. Documented. The first tranche is $200,000. When we raise the alarm...
You need to know this is not the final amount.
It's not.
That's supposed to be
it's just the first tranche. But when Barrow and his squirrel Krasi, because I have a new description for them, they are all squirrels scrambling over our peanuts, so I call this government Squirrel Krasi. When they heard this and they know this is going to damage them, not only locally, but internationally, Sankare came up with a defense, and he found willing collaborators among some media outlets that actually are carrying the narrative to try to justify this daylight theft. Sankare is saying this money has been paid, but he's speaking as if it is the only payment that's happening. That's outright a cover-up by the Barrow Mafia Krasi, Barrow Squirrel Krasi. The fact is it's $500,000, and even that $500,000 to be shared among 6 people is not the only payment. According to people with inside knowledge, if the case proceeds over 5 years, these 6 people, Batambedu and Dauda Jallow and co, would be paid more than $100 million as honorarium. When we are paying them salaries, we are paying them allowances, we are paying them honorarium. This is theft. If this is not theft, then all the thieves in Mile 2 should be released.
So this has gone to a debate of, legality and illegality.
Yes.
Does this contravene the constitution of the Gambia?
It contravenes the constitution. In the first place, when I deal with these legal issues, I don't go into the letter of the law because I'm not a lawyer, but I have basic common sense and I know what obtains in government as former budget director and former head of the civil service. You can't pay somebody a full salary. Any other job he's doing it for, quote unquote, for hire. Any remuneration coming to that should go to the person, the principal, not the agent. And I know from people with legal minds, quoting section 222, subsection 11 of the Constitution, and other public service documents that are saying that you cannot receive a gift as a public servant beyond a certain level. So 100 million over 5 years, between 6 people who are paid a salary, and despite all the mumbo jumbo that Sankare put together, he did not show a single government document approving this, either from the Ministry of Finance or the Presidency. This was communication from Justice to OIC. The money was paid. Government did not approve it. The only authority with powers to approve payments from the Treasury, National Assembly, did not approve it. It's stealing. But there's a cover-up between Sankare and his Squirrel Krasi government. Some media outlets that carried front-page stories practically defending Standard newspaper.
But they just did their findings.
They did not do their findings. They established that this is legal. The story was not balanced. It's a PR job. Shame on them. And then you have the Dalasivis, as I call them. If this did not involve Ba Tambedu, they would have been crying all over the place. But Ba is their partner in crime.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of Gambians calling out the
absolutely, it's nonsense. If this were some village boy from Dongoroba or Same Pachonki, they would have gone after him, but it's Ba Tambedu, the urban elite, part of this Squirrel Krasi. It's sad and unfortunate. I'm always giving up untruth in this country because they are willing to connive across all sectors of society to make sure that certain people are sacred cows. This is the animal farm that I spoke about this government from the beginning. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
But you know, even some Gambians are coming to the defense of the Ministry of Justice, saying that honorariums are a thing when you work for government.
Few Gambians and Dalasivis with vested interest, those people who are supporting Barrow because they know Barrow is a sleeping president, he's not aware of the issues. They want somebody like Barrow who doesn't have a grasp of these things so that they can continue looting the state's resources and sharing. These are the few selfish Gambians who are defending this nonsense.
So what does this come down to? A moral issue or what?
Well, it's moral, it's psychological, it's religious, it's everything. It just shows the level of degeneration of our society, where people are not interested in the truth. People are interested in looting the state's resources. People are interested in defending people they are related to, either by blood or by class, or other nefarious sources of association. They are not interested in the truth. This is the country we've inherited, unfortunately, so-called New Gambia.
You know, it's very interesting, but Gambians are still going back and forth regarding this thing. And then even the Minister of Justice came out to give an explanation.
What do you expect? When the drummer has the stick that you're drumming, if his foot is on it and he doesn't want the music to go, it cannot go. Dauda Jallow is complicit in this. Just ask Batamed, what do you expect? They have to defend this. But Dauda is wise. I respect him. He kept quiet. He never spoke. He left it to the fool Sankare.
No, Dauda spoke today on Coffee with Peter Gomes.
I missed that. But why didn't he speak from the beginning? When
it's basically just the same position that there is nothing illegal.
Of course, so he did not speak. He allowed Sankare to take the bullet and he's running with it. Dauda is smart. You have to give it to him. And they want a president who is sleeping, who doesn't have a grasp of issues. When I read Sankare's press release, I had a feeling that the press release was actually cooked outside of government and imposed on Barrow's government because Barrow does not know what's going on in the mafia crazy that's in this urban area.
So do you think that all of these things are going on without, you know, the president knowing?
Well, absolutely. I think Barrow does not know these things. I believe what's happening. These things, they cook it up. If you see the correspondence phrase from justice to OIC, approval is made, payment in it, they are not aware. It's when people like me spoke, and my audios, I know it burns them like fire burns the flesh of squirrels. When they heard it, now it's the government. It's not even about Ba or Dauda Jallow. So they came out to defend their government, especially in light of the potential reaction of the international community to show that this thing is legal. Barrow does not understand. But the crookery and thievery and mafiacracy in this government is worse than this. This is the tip of the iceberg. By December 4th, it will hit them and they will know what's going on.
So you've never taken honorariums when you worked in government?
Honorariums are paid in government, but honorarium is supposed to be a token of appreciation for work you have done. If my salary is 10,000, you give me 1,000, that is acceptable honorarium. But even that,
you think this amount is ridiculous?
Listen to me, I want to explain the process. Even that 1,000 pittance that you are giving, it goes through a process where the accounting officer has to approve this. But how can you have a salary of 50,000? Let's say 50,000 per month, and your honorarium per month is 500,000. It doesn't make sense. Then drop the salary and get the honorarium. It's never happened in the history of the Gambia government.
And now let's move on to your party, the UDP.
Yes, the government in waiting.
You've made the headlines
yes.
This past couple of days.
Absolutely.
We all know what happened, but then something that stuck with, I guess, a lot of people was when Ousainou Darboe had a press conference and mentioned
His Excellency
Ousainou Darboe had a press conference and mentioned that he had received intelligence, basically warning
Are you trying to scare me or what?
I mean, what do you make of what do you make of that when you first had it?
Well, for me, I know one thing about His Excellency, the Honorable Ousainou Darboe. He's very careful, and he always speaks the truth. So whatever he says, I take it as the truth. I believe there's credible intelligence about what he's saying. The point is, for me, Mamadou Sabally, I had my battles with Yaya Jammeh here. I survived it. Am I going to be afraid of squirrels? No. I know I'm a threat to this government. I know it. I'm not a fool. I've been offered security. I rejected it for obvious reasons because I am not going to be a coward in my country. And I told Barrow and his people in an interview with Haruna Drame, I've already bought my shroud. I'm ready anytime.
So this whole UDP vehicle cannabis thing, do you think this was politically motivated? Because
without a doubt, it is politically motivated. And Sayo, on occasion, I've come out to criticize UDP. I'm not afraid of speaking the truth, regardless of whom this truth affects. Why ñi lañ def yefi ciune la li defa yomba. Even the government that was here that was accused of dictatorship, they never stooped this low to go and accuse a car of trafficking drugs. This is the first time I've said in an audio that this car should be taken to the museum. It's never happened. We've got ambulances being used to carry cannabis around in military vehicles. But it's always the guy. It's always it has happened. It's in the news. You can Google right now. My point is, I've not landed. When it happens, the guy carrying it is the guy you hold responsible. You don't go to hold the Ministry of Health responsible for a reckless driver using an ambulance to carry cannabis. But this time, the guy who is using the vehicle is not mentioned because they know it's not UDP. They're blaming the car for pushing drugs, I believe. And the fact that, Sergeant, we all know these things are out in the open. When the humongous 3 tons cocaine case came, did the police make a statement? They kept quiet until people started pummeling them. It fell to, again, the town crier, Ibrahim Sankare, to come and bring some mumbo jumbo. But this one, the police, bam, as if the sky is going to fall.
Issued a statement.
And then it's about a car. Hello, it's politically motivated. It's very obvious. And if you look at the rhetoric in the NPP WhatsApp groups, and they are warning each other, they say ali keku de UDP ko libe jola mbenjola munela ali wata alien tonyele alien tumile kula me yalon ka manke ali faniale fo ali alafta non dilale bani ala men sene andite no. You know, we are a party of faith. 22 years of struggle plus. You want to bring your chicken games here? We believe in Allah. Alladhina qala lahum Allah inna Allah qad jama'a inna an-nasa qad jama'a alladhina qala lahum an-nasu inna an-nasa qad jama'u lakum fakhshawhum فَزَادَهُمْ إِيمَانًا وَقَالُوا حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ وَنِعْمَ الْوَكِيلُ. Okay. You gang us against us, it increases our faith. And we say we rely on Allah and He is sufficient for the disposal of affairs. We are ready for anything, anytime.
Mansour, I am tempted to respond, but I'm afraid of saying Cindy Hellman or something.
Well, Cindy Hellman.
Yes,
Cindy
but
Hellman.
If this is the trend that
maybe they should have said Cindy Hellman before they tried it.
But if this is the trend that our politics is going, then we have to be very concerned and worried. What do you have to say to your fellow politicians out there?
No, I mean, I have nothing to say to any politician. I have a message for Adama Barrow, his Inspector General of Police, and his Minister of Injustice, because I've relabeled the Ministry of Injustice and Looting. We know politics, we know the game is tough, we know it. Like, this is more terrible than the El Clasico. Barrow is sweating day and night. We are pummeling him from Koina to Khartoum. But let's do decent politics. Let's make sure IEC is free and clean. We don't want to see voters' cards thrown around. We don't want to see an IEC vice chair ranting out of a meeting. Let's play the game clean. Let Barrow and his administration refrain from using the police and the drug squad to try to play dirty tricks, to try to make dirty their opponents. I think we've not achieved much in New Gambia. But at the very least, we should not stoop so low as to use the police as a tool for politicking, because that's what they did in this case. Unfortunately for them, it boomeranged on them, because Allah's word is always true. وَمَكَرُوا مَكْرًا وَمَكَرْنَا مَكْرًا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ وَمَكَرُوا وَمَكَرَ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. They plan and Allah also plans, but Allah is the best of planners. And Allah is just. It's a boomerang right in their face. So let's go back to the drawing board.
What's your position on this whole IEC discarding of old
It's
voter
wrong,
cards?
it's terrible, it's insensitive, it's unconscionable, it's totally unacceptable. It's a big shame on IEC. And I am not a fan of Kirfatu and Lamin Cham, but I fully support him for pressing that question on Joe. And Joe, I understand, has some regrets about his reaction, but Lamin Cham is that IEC was being insensitive about this thing. Look, Barrow has destroyed this transition from sabotaging the constitutional process, which is supposed to be the bedrock for our new democracy and free and fair elections, electoral reforms, issues that people like Solo Sandeng push so much as to pay the ultimate price for it. It was all supposed to be anchored on the constitution. Barrow killed the constitution. We say, okay, let's go with the existing constitution. Now you want to mess up with the IEC? I said we want peace and stability in this country, and nobody knows Mobutu Sawali for association with violence. But if Barrow wants to mess up with the electoral process for me, I am going to fight it by all means necessary, and I mean exactly by all means necessary. We have to do these elections free, fair, and clean, and by the book. Otherwise, we'll be talking about something else in this country.
Now we know that voter registration is going to begin in May, but even with this, IEC discarding, old voter cards, some people are still coming to their defense saying that, well, they're old and, nobody is using them. So
that's the point. It's not about whether they are old or not. It's the perception that it's giving. People have already started accusing IEC of being complicit with Barrow in certain issues. They were accused of a closed-door meeting with IEC and team. But Sajo, to be fair to me, with all my noise, have you ever heard me criticize IEC? No, I said let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But if we are giving you the benefit of the doubt, we are being uncomfortable about certain things, and we see mysteriously blank voters' cards, only a fool will take that for granted. We should be alarmed about it, and we should make noise about it.
And now it's election year, but right now it's Ramadan month, and I know you're struggling because you are from Badibu, actually.
Have you seen Fatou Camara trying to recite Suratul Kafirun?
It's Ramadan, and yes, I know all the Kiyankas and the Badibunkas are struggling.
Just stop at the Kiyankas.
Kiyankas. I know the Kiyankas are struggling. But Sabs, let's talk about, the skyrocketing of prices of basic commodities. It's a struggle. A lot of people are struggling to just buy the basics of things. How do we solve this problem? It seems like...
You want a real answer?
Yes.
Vote out Barrow. That's the only solution, because the buck stops at it's his problem. I've been talking about the macroeconomic mismanagement of this country for the past 3 years, writing open letters to Barrow, to Mambure Njai, the worst finance minister ever in the history of this country. They've not been listening. They increased salaries by 50%. I said, hey, no, it's gonna have an effect on the economy. They said, Sabali Defa Bariwa. What happened? Julbru was overtaxed. Julbru closed down. People lost their jobs. What happened? Inflation started rising. And then now, Barrow, after telling us he has a pledge of more than €1.5 billion that even the mice and the cats are going to enjoy from that, he sat down busy politicking. He could not follow up to get those pledges. The money did not come. Now Barrow sees that we in the election year, he has to do something. He goes to the central bank and borrows money. Obvious implication is inflation. And we know there's a time lag in this macroeconomic analysis. We've gone through this stuff. But perception from the get-go, these business people are not fools. They know what's going to happen 6 months from now. So they're going to peg their prices to anchor those kind of expectations. What happens? Inflation. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because the team managing the economy don't have a clue how demand and supply works. That's it. I'm not surprised, but I told you, Gambians, I told you. You have an opportunity to solve it. Vote him out.
Finally, Sam, before I let you go, because I'm not spending much time here because I'm hungry.
Well, thanks for admitting. I'm ready. I can go another 30 minutes if you are tired for the camera come. But I'm sure she cannot talk. She's hungry.
I think I am stronger than her right now. But Sam, I thank you very much for coming through to the Fast Network once again. What message do you have for the Gambian people?
Well, Ramadan Mubarak. I mean, it's a blessed, holy month. I mean, let's use it to extend kindness, compassion to each other. Devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I saw a post on What's on Gambia. I was really delighted. A Christian guy trying to raise funds to get tap water for a mosque. God bless you, young man. Gambia is a majority Muslim country, but there is peaceful coexistence between the religions. We don't have a problem. I saw some people trying to build a storm out of a teacup. Secretary General issuing a directive for ladies to close at 4. It's perfectly all right. I fully endorse it. And I commend President Barrow and his government for this. Some few people complaining. If the Christians request it, we will all support it for them to get it. And I don't think it's discriminatory. Because there is nowhere in that edit where it says it's only for Muslim women. We have peaceful coexistence between religions in this country. Let's keep it. The Christian guy who is helping the Muslim mosque in this holy Ramadan, Allah bless you. I mean, I think we should use this opportunity also. So I'll apologize to you and Mansour and Modu. When I hit this table here, I scare you guys, man. So please forgive me. So we should forgive each other.
Yes, we are forgiving.
And Fatou Camara should ask forgiveness from the Badibunkas. She's bringing you here, implanting questions about donkeys in Badibu. I know it's her job. So, I mean, like, it's a month of blessing. It's a month of forgiveness from Allah to us, between us also. Let's make the best use. And I'm obsessed with the Quran, and this is the month in which the Quran was revealed. Hudan linnas wa bayinatin minal huda wal furqan. Allah brought the Quran in this mosque. Let's all try and read it. If you can't read it in Arabic, try it in Mandinka. YouTube, play it. I mean, it's a month of celebration of the book of Revelation, the book of guidance, the book that will save us from fire, the book that will save us from hardship and torment, fit dunya wal akhirah. I am encouraging every young Gambian to use this opportunity to try to study and read your Quran, no matter how little. La yukallifullahu nafsan illa wus'aha. It's not incumbent on all of us to become hafiz. But Allah says, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. And then he goes on to say, فَقْرَؤُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Whatever is easy for you. If you can't receive, go and listen, sit down in a mosque where they are doing the tafsir. I mean, and if you can go through these universities and study Chinese, why can't you speak Arabic? Check yourself.
Okay, wait.
So let's try and study.
Okay, wait.
I am a perpetual student myself.
Don't do me like that. Okay.
You studied in China? Sorry, I didn't know. Okay, for instance, you go to Turkey and you study Turkish language. But this is true. It's no joke. We go and study other people's languages. If you are a Muslim, your currency is Arabic. That's the language in which your book is written. Fine, you can read the translation. I do it, but it's a short chain. You got to read this book in its original form. If you can't do the Arabic also, it's okay. I think I was just troubling a little bit on that. Translation is okay. But approach this book with humility. Translation, try to know from the source, the people who are experts in it. I am obsessed with the Quran. I'm encouraging every young man. I mean, I did self-study. I'm encouraging every young Muslim to do more efforts.
Thank you very much, Ustaz Sabs, and I will.
And again, I plead that you guys forgive me for my excesses on this.
Oh yeah, we do. We do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for always, coming through to the network. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That will be it for News Review today. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching, and have a very nice iftar.